like we don't know what country we're in. Like, just in case you forgot, you're in America. Neep, neep. You know what's funny? Recently, I did a gig up in Canada, right? We landed in Calgary, and we're driving to me and Kenny are driving to the hotel, and I saw a guy up there, he had a giant pickup truck with a giant Canadian flag hanging off the back, and I was so relieved. You know? I was like, thank God. I thought only we had that fucking idiot in our country. Evidently, he's everywhere. Which is hilarious to me, because that means there's a guy in England right now with a giant British flag hanging off the back of a scooter, just riding around like, wah. Right, you're in London, you silly cunt. Meet me. Brexit, you fucking yank. Right? I don't know, that just blows my mind, you know. It's like, it's 2024. All of these people got in trouble, got canceled and shit, you know what I mean? Never came around to the Klan. None of those groups ever got canceled, but if you said in 1992, hey, nice titties, comes back to bite you in the ass 30 years later. That's a question I've been asking when I'm on the road. Like, here's a question I have. Why do you think the Klan, it's 2024, right? Why do you think the Klan still exists? Racist. Racist? I'm not saying what they are. Racist. Why do you think fat people exist? Eat too much. Are they all gonna be this easy? You know what the funniest answer I got? I go, why do you think people are still in the Klan? 2024. And some guy yelled out, he goes, something to do. You know, we all got our things. Some people are into bowling. Some people like to draw. Some people like to blow up churches with innocent people in there. I mean, it's, you know, it's all, you know, whatever your trip is. You know why they still exist? You know why, right? Some people go, well, you know, it's a First Amendment issue. It's a freedom of speech. We have this wonderful thing in this country, for white people only, called freedom of speech. I mean, they have to be allowed to join these groups. They have to be allowed to march down the streets with semi-automatic weapons, chanting the N-word, trying to create a race war on the internet, okay? They have to be allowed to do this. If they are not allowed to do this, it's a slippery slope. Next thing you know, there goes the town pool. So, you really have to be careful about censorship. You name one other fucking race that can do that. Yeah, no, I'm telling you. The reason why they still fucking exist is because they don't fuck with white people. That's basically it. If they did to white people what the fuck they've done to black people, how long do you think that stupid fucking group would have been around? Maybe 5 weeks, because it was the 1800s and it took a month to get across the state to get to those idiots. And they would have mowed them down with the first machine gun that was the size of a fucking cannon. And that would have been fucking it. No, you don't believe me? Do you remember 9/11 when those brown people knocked down those 2 perfectly good white buildings? My people lost their minds. Kill all those motherfuckers! Blow up that whole side of the plant! Anybody with a brown shirt, get the fuck out! Yeah, the exact same people. If the Klan or Proud Boys does some fucked up shit, what is the best we have? The most liberal of my people. What's the best we got? Oh my God, that's terrible. Can you believe that? Oh, what is wrong with people? I mean, I just don't get it. God. Are you guys watching Baby Reindeer? That is fucking amazing. No, you have to watch it. It is so good. That's why I fucking hate liberals. I do. I hate them. No, don't get excited. I fucking hate conservatives too, because you're all a bunch of fucking racists. All right? Now, I know that's a blanket statement, but I'm just trying to speak your language. What I fucking hate about liberals is you don't do shit other than covering your own ass with your dumbass fucking signs. I hate that shit with the fuck. Remember that? That was the worst. I was in Hollywood, during the whole Black Lives Matter, and the white people putting, like my people, putting the fucking BLM signs in the window. It wasn't even about black people. It was about that they were doing it. They were like Instagramming it, like, I just couldn't remain silent, I had to speak truth to power, You would think they were in the Marines or something. It's like you haven't even left your fucking apartment, right? I had to do it. I took one piece of Xerox paper that I paid for, wrote BLM on it, and took 2 pieces of double-sided tape I usually use to hold my titties up, and I stuck it in the window. And I was like, there you go, black people. Enjoy your new freedom. What? It's just, I had to do it. It was how I was raised, I come from a long line of progressive liberals. In fact, my great-great-great-grandmother was in Berlin, Germany in 1939, and she had a knock it off Nazi sign in the window. And let me tell you something, that was the end of those shenanigans. A lot of people thought it was the bravery of the Allied troops. No, it was not. It was my grandmother's persnickety side. No, liberals, you got to get over your fear of the gun. That's what's going to turn this country around. You got to embrace guns, okay? They're not going anywhere. You'd have a better chance of getting rid of cheeseburgers than you are of getting rid of guns, all right? I don't know if you ever read the history of this country. It's not what they say it was, all right? This is gangs in New York, okay? We came here, there was other people here, and then there weren't, right? And then there was work to be done, we didn't want to do it, and then we brought other people in, and other shit happened, and then they got let go, and now a lot of shit happened, okay? So people are strapped because you don't know what's gonna happen. But then liberals are like, oh God, stop the guns. I'm gonna make a sign, stop the guns, right? No, embrace them. Level the playing field out. That's what's gonna stop these hate groups, I think, anyways. Because they're not afraid, because they're armed and you're not. So basically, what's going to turn this country around is the day a vegan beta male with a man bun does a drive-by in a Prius at a Klan rally and exposes them for the faggots they really are. Nothing's going to happen. I know I said faggots, but, I was worried I was getting too preachy. You know what I mean? I don't want you to feel like I'm not dirty, too. It's funny? My wife got me to stop saying that word, right? Like the 2000s, she got me to stop saying the word. I swear to God, this is a true story. I was driving back. I was in L.A., and I had her on speakerphone. I had a good set and everything, so I was psyched, and I was talking to her, making her laugh and shit. And I'm driving, and this is the hilarious thing, is I'm driving a Prius, right? And the Prius, the 2008, had like this 2-inch like metal on either side that was like a blind spot. If you went to take a left, and if there was somebody in the crosswalk and they fucking lined up with the thing, okay, you wouldn't see them, and they get run over by this little doorstop of a car, right? So wouldn't you know it, that night I'm going down the street in my Prius, and I'm making my wife laugh, and I go to make a left, Hollywood and La Brea, never forget it, and this guy was lined up, and at the last second, I saw him, almost ran him over, and I swerved out of the way and stomped on the brakes, and the guy, of course, turned around, and he goes, you fucking asshole, why don't you look where the fuck you're driving? Jesus Christ, fucking wake up. He's screaming at me, and I put the window down. I was trying to explain, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. There's like a 2-inch thing, and you were lined up. He goes, what the fuck, you almost ran out of my fucking front. He's screaming at me. I'm trying to explain myself, and he kept fucking yelling at me, and he wouldn't listen, and I finally just snapped. I was like, with your tight pants, you fucking faggot. Right? So my wife flips out. She's like, Bill, you cannot say that anymore, right? And what was funny was the guy actually laughed, right? I swear to God, like he threw his head back and he really laughed. And to this day, I don't know why. Like, was he laughing because he was a little fat? Was his pants getting a little tight? Was it around the holidays? Or was it just funny to see a bald ginger in a Prius call him that word? I don't know what it was, but he got a huge laugh out of it, and that word actually ended the argument between the two of us. So
But my wife broke it down to me. She goes, you can't say that word. It's a really hurtful word. And I was like, all right, well, I don't want to be an asshole. So, it took a while, but I stopped. And, but there's they never gave you like a replacement word. Like this phantom limb syndrome here. It's like, what do you call somebody who cuts you off in traffic and then you pull up at a red light and they don't have the decency to look at you as you're fucking screaming at your window? What do you call them? It's the alliteration. Fucking, it just gets it out of you. You know what's funny is I don't own a gun, but I fucking love them. I do. Like, if I'm walking down the street and I see a gun store, I gotta go in and look at them. I do. But I'm not into, like, the semi-automatic weapon. That's for people that suck at shooting. You know what I mean? Like, how many fucking attempts? There he is. They work it. You should get 6 shots, all right? If you can't get the fucking job done, that's it. You're done, right? No, I like them. I like the revolvers and all that old school shit I saw in the cop movies when I was growing up. I like all of those guns. But guns also scare me because I feel like guns are kind of like guitars, you know? Like almost every house has one, but not really anybody's that good at it, you know? Just kind of over in the corner collecting dust, you know? And I get with guitar how you get better. You play 2-3 hours a day. I don't get, how do you get better at shooting? Like, how do you practice? Gun range. They always say that, the gun range. That's not practicing. It's a total controlled environment. You go down there and you put on your little headset, got to protect my hearing. I wouldn't want my ears to go ringy-ding-ding. And then you lay out all your bullets, little charcuterie board. I have my weapon pointed down the fucking thing. And now it's time for the target. Then you sit there and you're like, a poo. A poo-poo. Poo. A pee. Oh, center mass. I'm going to hang that in my house so everybody sees what a badass I am. That's not practicing. You want to practice? Have somebody wake you up at 3 in the morning when you're wearing nothing but your pajama bottoms. And they throw you in the garage. There's a baby, a rattlesnake, and a fucking bear. And your wife's flipping the lights on and off going, do something, Johnny, do something, do something, do something. That is practicing. Yeah. I feel like that's how it's going to go down. I don't know shit about it, but I got a good feeling that, the day somebody breaks into your house, gun owners, they're not going to come in like this. They're not going to be like peeking around the corner and then just go, anyway. Yeah, so I have learned a lot about myself over the last few years, you know what I mean? I had to quit drinking, I never thought I'd have a problem with that shit, because when I grew up, right, the shit was so different when we were growing up. Like, even like gay people. Like, the way it was thought was there was like 3 gay people in Massachusetts and the rest of them were in San Francisco, right? Everything was fucked up, right? Like addiction, it was either you have the addictive gene or you don't. And it's like, no. What I kind of learned is fucking everything is sort of a spectrum, right? Not just autism, I'm sick of words getting hijacked, all right? When I was a kid, like the spectrum was the color spectrum. Dr. J and the 76ers played.
It started as an ordinary evening out. My husband and I went to a work function together, chatting, mingling, and having a good time. But being a devoted wife, that evening wasn't enough for me. When one of the more magnetic guys from the event asked me to join him at an afterparty, I didn't hesitate for a second. I told myself it would only be a couple hours, nothing major, and his presence was fun. I never guessed how quickly that decision would spin out of my grasp. 6 hours vanished in a blur. The drinks didn't stop coming. The laughter never faded. And every look from him sent a spark through me that made my pulse quicken. I glanced at my phone now and then, but every text from my husband asking where I'd gone went ignored. I dismissed his mounting concern, telling myself it was simply part of the fun. In that instant, I felt invincible, caught up in an attention I hadn't known I was chasing. While I was swept up in that rush, my husband was falling apart. He walked out of the party and scoured the city, ringing every friend, every bar, every possible after-party location, frantic for any trace of me. His thoughts spiraled through countless scenarios, each darker than the one before. He couldn't figure out why I wouldn't answer or how I could vanish without a trace. I had no clue how much suffering I was causing while I giggled and flirted with another man. As the night stretched on, the man next to me grew more daring, inching closer, testing limits I carelessly permitted. I laughed, played along, and pushed aside the sharp pangs of guilt in my chest. At first, it felt thrilling to be desired and admired. But underneath that excitement, a small voice cautioned me that I was overstepping, that my husband was somewhere out there terrified. I ignored it. By the time morning arrived, fatigue took hold, and the truth started closing in on me. I finally grasped how far I'd taken things, how much time had slipped away, and how panicked my husband must have been. My pulse pounded as a wave of dread washed over me. What I'd dismissed as innocent fun brought consequences far bigger than I'd anticipated. Every missed call, every unopened message had stacked into a storm I could no longer hold back. When I finally stepped through the door, I braced for rage, yelling, maybe even tears. What I wasn't ready for was the quiet and the weight in his eyes. Looking at him, I saw shock, embarrassment, and disbelief all rolled into one. His fists were tight. His face had lost all its color. For the first time, I grasped the true weight of what I'd done. He didn't shout. He didn't accuse me right away. He just stood there, watching me, as though piecing together every second I'd been missing. The room felt like it was closing in, the tension heavy in the air. I'd never witnessed him like that before, so restrained yet so commanding in his stillness. My gut twisted as I fumbled for explanations that rang false even to my own ears. The shame etched on his face reflected the fear building inside me. I'd always thought I could control my decisions, work every situation, and slip past small slip-ups. But now I was confronting a hard reality. My choices had ripple effects I couldn't contain. I had badly misjudged the strength of his love, his devotion, and just how deeply my betrayal could wound him. 4 hours went by without a single word between us. I kept replaying every laugh, every touch, every hour I'd spent apart from him. Guilt weighed on me without mercy, and for the first time, I genuinely felt the full weight of my carelessness. He sat opposite me, composed and unshaken, working through his own tangle of emotions. I watched him struggle to comprehend how the woman he trusted could disappear into the night without a single word. When he finally broke his silence, his voice was low, steady, and more unnerving than any shout. "Do you realize what you've done?" he asked, not with fury, but with a disappointment that hurt worse than anything else could. Every word landed like a punch, making me realize I hadn't just disappointed him. I had broken his trust completely. I tried to justify it, to explain it away, to claim it was nothing but harmless flirting. My words rang hollow against the truth reflected in his eyes. He didn't shout or argue back. He simply looked at me and let the quiet do the talking. It was harder to bear than any fight I could have pictured. That silent judgment left me trembling, humiliated, and fully aware of the harm I had done. The following days blended together in shame and strain. He kept his distance, avoided me, and only spoke when he had to. It hit me that my 6 hours of careless fun had permanently altered our relationship. Every unreturned message, every avoided glance, every heavy exhale reminded me of my betrayal. I had opened a rift between us that I feared might never close. Friends and family started to notice, asking pointed questions and trading knowing glances as gossip made its way to me. It became obvious that my actions hadn't just wounded him, they had embarrassed him, both in front of others and between us alone. This time, I didn't ease up. Actions carry consequences. She grabbed for my hand, her desperation replacing her earlier arrogance. "Don't do this." "I didn't mean it." "I was upset," she pleaded. I shook my head. "You weren't upset. You were calculated." And for the first time, she felt the true weight of those documents. They weren't a bargaining chip anymore. They were her new reality. She trailed behind me as I headed to our bedroom and began packing a bag. "Please, we can work this out," she begged. "We can try counseling. Whatever it takes." She grabbed my arm, her voice shaking. "I love you." I stopped. Once, those words would have won me over completely. Now they felt like chains dressed up as flowers. "You loved having power over me," I told her. "You loved watching me chase after you, but you never cared enough to trust me or talk to me like a grown adult." She shook her head fiercely. "No, that's not true." I carefully pried her fingers off my arm. "Then your behavior contradicted your words." She crumpled onto the bed, crying as I finished zipping my bag. The sound was gutting, but it had to happen. Not every hurt comes from cruelty. Sometimes it's the only way through. "What will I tell everyone?" she murmured through her tears. And there it was, the real fear underneath it all. Not losing me, but losing her grip, her image, losing the man she thought she could always control. "Tell them the truth," I said. "Tell them you handed divorce papers to me at home, and I honored your decision." As I moved toward the door, she stood shaking behind me. "Please don't leave," she whispered, her voice broken and small. I turned around to look at her, the woman I once imagined a whole life with, now facing the results of her own scheming. "You don't threaten to set the house on fire just to test if someone wants to stay," I said calmly. "You just end up buried in the wreckage." She sobbed even harder, gripping the signed documents like fragments of her own broken heart. I didn't storm out. I didn't raise my voice. I simply left, and that silence spoke louder than any words ever could. A week later, she turned up at my new place. No makeup, no ego, just pure regret. "I destroyed everything," she whispered. I didn't celebrate. I didn't lash out. I just nodded. "Sometimes we don't see who really loves us until we drive them away," she said, her voice shaking. "And sometimes," I answered, "we don't understand what real peace feels like until we release the person who mistook love for control." She reached toward me as if to make contact, but her hand froze halfway, finally understanding. I was gone. Not resentful, not bitter, just finished. As I shut the door softly, she stood there in the hallway, frozen, clutching those papers like a tombstone. She tried to frighten me into staying. Instead, she showed me the strength found in walking away.